She told me I didn't make her feel alive anymore. So I stopped trying to save someone who was already walking into the fire. Hey everyone, we're just beginning this journey. So please consider helping us reach our first 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Now, let's get back to the story. The scent of burnt toast usually signaled Monday. This Monday, it was the acrid tang of something far more corrosive. I stood at the counter, stirring my coffee, watching the steam curl from the mug like a reluctant ghost. 10 years, and the morning ritual was a well-oiled machine. Until it wasn't. She set her mug down with a clink, the sound sharp in the quiet kitchen. Her eyes, usually the color of warm amber, were distant and clouded. She ran a hand through her hair, a gesture I knew meant something significant was coming. My stomach tightened a slow, cold knot. I don't feel alive with you anymore, Mark. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper, yet it struck me like a physical blow. The spoon in my hand paused mid-stir. The steam continued its lazy ascent. I waited. The silence stretched, thick and suffocating. A fly buzzed against the window pane, a frantic, tiny sound. The spark is gone, she continued, her gaze fixed on a spot just beyond my shoulder. I need more passion in life. Passion. The word hung in the air, heavy with unspoken accusations. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. I just watched her, this woman I'd build a life with, a future dissolve before my eyes. I'm not cheating, she added quickly, as if sensing the unspoken question. I'm just searching for myself, for something real. Real. As if our 10 years, our shared laughter, and our quiet comfort hadn't been real. It was the coldest compliment I'd ever received, a backhanded dismissal of everything we were. My jaw tightened, a muscle jumping beneath my skin. I took a slow sip of coffee, the bitter liquid burning a trail down my throat. I understand, I said, my voice flat, devoid of emotion. A quiet, terrifying calm had settled over me. It surprised even me. She looked at me then, a flicker of something unreadable in her eyes. Relief? Guilt? I couldn't tell. She picked up her bag and slung it over her shoulder. The usual morning kiss was conspicuously absent. The front door clicked shut, and just like that, she was gone, leaving behind only the ghost of burnt toast and a gaping hole where our life used to be. She was searching for herself without me. The phrase echoed in my mind, a hollow drumbeat. The quiet phase of my life ended, replaced by the cacophony of hers. Her Instagram feed became a kaleidoscope of vibrant, unfamiliar faces. Yoga retreats in Bali, her body contorted into impossible poses, a serene smile plastered on her face, the ocean a blurry blue behind her. Art installations in Berlin, her hand reaching out to touch some abstract sculpture, her captions filled with esoteric musings about authenticity and spiritual awakening. Parties in Brooklyn lofts, a blur of flashing lights and laughing strangers, her arms slung around a different person in every photo. Click, click, click. Each post is a tiny, public declaration of her new, vibrant life. My life, by contrast, had become a study in stillness. I watched, I observed. I didn't comment. I didn't like it. I just absorbed the images, the jarring, vibrant colors of her self-discovery. The first weekend she didn't come home, the silence in our house was deafening. The space where her perfume usually lingered, where her books were piled precariously on the nightstand, was starkly empty. I'd made dinner, a simple pasta dish she loved. The steam rose from the pot, mingling with the scent of garlic and oregano, a comforting aroma that now felt mocking. I ate alone, the clinking of my fork against the plate the only sound. I didn't call. I didn't text. I just sat, and the quiet hum of the refrigerator filled the void. My side of the silence was a fortress. I hadn't begged. I hadn't screamed. There were no dramatic confrontations, no tearful pleas. Just a quiet, resolute withdrawal. I continued my routine, the mundane tasks of life, a comforting anchor. I went to work. I paid the bills. I walked the dog. People at the office asked, "How's Sarah?" I'd offer a tight-lipped, "She's good." Busy. The words felt like sandpaper in my mouth. The woman in the photos wasn't my wife. Not anymore. The Sarah I knew loved quiet evenings, old movies, and the simple pleasure of reading a book by the fireplace. This Sarah, with her new haircut and her bohemian clothes and her wide, unburdened smile, was a stranger. She was a performance, a carefully curated image of liberation. I saw a picture of her at a music festival, mud splattered on her bare legs, her head thrown back in a peal of laughter, a man with a beard and a guitar slung over his shoulder beside her. A sharp pang, not of jealousy, but of a strange, dispassionate curiosity, went through me. Who was this person? Friends who stopped looking me in the eye became a common occurrence. There were the awkward silences, the glances exchanged over my head, and a thinly veiled pity. "Hey man, are you doing okay?" Mark, my oldest friend, asked one evening over beers. He kept his voice low, his eyes scanning the pub, as if Sarah might materialize from the shadows. "Never better," I said, taking a long swig of my beer. The bitter taste coated my tongue. "She's really out there." "Huh?" He ventured, his brows furrowed. "So I hear." I shrugged, a deliberate, casual gesture. Good for her, finding herself. The words tasted like ash. He cleared his throat. "Look, if you need anything," he trailed off, unsure how to finish the sentence. "I'm good, Mark." "Really?" I met his gaze, holding it steady until he looked away, defeated. I didn't chase her. I chased myself. The house, once filled with her presence, became my sanctuary. I started with the clutter, her half of the closet, and the books she'd abandoned. I packed it all away neatly and methodically. Then I moved to the garage, a forgotten wasteland of old tools and dusty boxes. I built a workbench. I started woodworking, the scent of sawdust a grounding balm. The rhythmic scrape of sandpaper, the thwack of a hammer, and the whirring of a saw. These became my new soundtrack. I ate better, cooked for myself, and experimented with new recipes. I started running, first a mile, then 2, then 3. The pounding of my feet on the pavement and the burning in my lungs became a release. My body hardened, my mind sharpened. I read books, not the self-help kind, but history, philosophy, anything that expanded my world beyond the confines of my own quiet grief. Strength in stillness was a revelation. While she chased fleeting highs, I built something tangible. While she sought validation in likes and comments, I found it in the smooth grain of a finished piece of wood, in the steady rhythm of my own breath. The silence of the house, once a heavy shroud, became a comforting embrace. I was learning to breathe again, deeply, fully, without the constant weight of her absence. I was rebuilding not just a house, but a life. My life. Her messages started again, a slow trickle at first, then a hesitant stream. A few months after she'd left, a simple "hey." Then "how are you?" I didn't reply. The silence had become too precious to break. Then came the longer ones. I was thinking about that little cafe we used to go to on Sundays. "Do you ever go there anymore?" Or, "Saw your old colleague, Sarah. She said you look good." A faint hum of something like satisfaction vibrated through me. One evening, my phone buzzed. It was a photo, not of her, but of our old street, the cherry tree in front of our house in full bloom. A single word, "remember?" I looked at the photo, then at the actual tree, visible through my living room window. It was beautiful. I put my phone down. "You've changed," she said, with regret, her voice echoing through the phone, thin and reedy. I had finally picked up after weeks of her persistent calls. The background noise of a bustling cafe, so different from the serene hum of my quiet home, grated on my ears. "People do," I replied, my voice calm even. I was in my workshop, sanding down a new tabletop, the scent of cedar filling the air. You're different. You used to be softer." A sigh long and drawn out. "More available." "I'm still here," I said, holding the phone away from my ear for a moment, letting the rhythmic scrape of sandpaper fill the void. "Just not for the same things." "I've been doing a lot of thinking," she continued, ignoring my words. "About everything. About us." Her voice dropped, a hint of vulnerability creeping in. I miss the way things were." I didn't respond immediately. The silence stretched, filled only by the sound of my work. The way things were. A distant memory, a faded photograph. "I miss our life," she whispered, the words barely audible. "I miss us." She wanted her old life back, but I wasn't in it anymore. The realization hit me, not with a bang, but with a quiet, undeniable clarity. It wasn't a triumphant moment, not a victory dance. Just a calm, settled understanding. "I built a new one," I said, my voice steady, my gaze fixed on the perfectly smooth surface of the wood. "A good one. Can't we try again? Start over?" The desperation in her voice was palpable now. "I've changed too, Mark. I learned so much. I know what I want now." "And what's that, Sarah?" I asked, my voice devoid of curiosity, just a simple question. "You," she said, her voice cracking. "I want you. I want our home. I want the quiet, the realness." I closed my eyes for a moment, picturing the chaotic dance of her past year, the endless quest for something more. The irony was almost comedic. She'd searched for herself in a whirlwind of noise and superficiality, only to find the quiet space she'd abandoned was what she truly craved. But that quiet space had changed. I had changed. That life, that us you remember, I said, my voice gentle but firm, doesn't exist anymore. Not for me. A sharp gasp on the other end of the line, then a ragged, broken sound. A choked sob. "Please, Mark." I watched her fall without smiling. Not a cruel smile, not a vindictive one. Just a calm, detached observation. The silence on the phone stretched again, but this time it was different. It was the silence of a door closing softly, irrevocably. I felt a pang, a residual ache of what once was, but it was quickly replaced by a profound sense of peace. "Goodbye, Sarah," I said and hung up. The peace that followed letting go was absolute. The phone lay on my workbench, a silent rectangle of plastic and glass. The whir of the sander filled the workshop, a comforting drone. The scent of cedar was strong, earthy, and real. I ran my hand over the tabletop, feeling the smooth, polished grain beneath my fingertips. It was perfect. It was mine. The quiet hum of the house, the steady rhythm of my own breathing, the simple satisfaction of a job well done. This was my passion. This was my life. And for the first time in a very long time, I felt truly, completely alive.